Ooh. You mean North America? By who? Nuclear attack? Conventional? I've got to know. I'm just nosy that way. Are our fighters scrambled? I'm just nosy. Oh, my God. So when you talk about Homeland Security, I would think it would start with how a president reacts to the country being under attack. But then again, so much of our Homeland Security is purely symbolic. Put Tommy Chong in jail last year. Did you see that? For selling bongs on the internet. I feel safer. I don't know about you. But a couple of years ago, they busted Bob Denver, TV's Gilligan. So we got Chong, we got Gilligan. That is 2/3 of the axis of Coolio right there. And even if it just took 2 agents to bring down Tommy Chong, he is in his 60s now. You know, couldn't they have better been spent just taking those 2 agents and putting them in a room with nothing and just saying, think about Al-Qaeda? I mean, wouldn't that take one of Tommy's bongs and really think about Al-Qaeda? But yeah, I don't know how marijuana, the one drug that never killed anybody, got to be the demon seed. It's just amazing. It's such a triumph of negative marketing. And it's funny because the far right, the Christian right, they're the ones who are usually so against drug use of any kind. And it's very hard for me to picture Jesus Christ walking up to a medical marijuana patient and going, up, 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 let me take that, my friend. That's a slippery slope right there. I'm sorry. That's a very bad message to kids. Now, good luck with your bone marrow cancer. Because, you know, it's always a slippery slope to kids. That's, you can get them all, you get the voter on that one, you know. It doesn't seem like an adult twisting up a fatty to watch Nick at Night is doing any harm, but that's a slippery slope to your kids blowing people behind dumpsters to make money for their heroin habit. My opponent wants your children blowing people. It's a slippery slope right to that. And look, I don't want to hurt children. I'd like to protect children too, but is everything worth sacrificing to that? I mean, drugs have done a lot of good. You know, really, I mean, they've midwived a lot of good ideas, a lot of great songs, you know. I think Penny Lane is worth 10 dead kids. I do. I'll be honest. I do. I do. I think Dark Side of the Moon is worth 100 dead kids. There, I said it, okay? I guess what's so frustrating about the drug movement is that it's not much of a movement. That's too many stoners involved. But no, but I mean, that is one problem. But also just the inconsistency. The fact that somebody like Rush Limbaugh, who has made a career preaching that anybody who does drugs has got to go right to jail, do not pass go, no questions asked, right to jail, gets caught doing 30 OxyContin a day. 30 OxyContin? Do you have any idea how high that is? I don't, and I've been pretty high. But, wow. 30 OxyContin. This guy is putting up Elvis numbers, ladies and gentlemen. But how does he get away with it? They say, well, he's on medication. Oh, see, that's not drugs. Oh, no, that's medication. Well, you know what, pal? We all got our medication, don't we? They can have an ad on TV that said, ask your doctor if Jack Daniels is right for you. And it would not be out of place thematically. And I guess if I have any theme here tonight, it would be that this is just legislating taste, and there's nothing that bothers me more than that, and it's what we do all the time in this country. We legislate taste. There is nothing about preferring the high of OxyContin that makes you morally superior to someone who prefers the high of pot or mushrooms or crack. I mean, this guy... This guy was so on the pipe, he was making his maid score his drugs for him. How's that for morals and values? You got to say that about the Republicans. They are kind of hard on the help. Rush Limbaugh with the maid, Strom Thurmond with the maid. You saw that story? Oh, my... I love this woman, Essie Mae Williams, Strom Thurmond's illegitimate daughter, 78 years old, came forward last year, waited until he died. She didn't want to wreck his career. Wow, girls love their fathers, huh? Didn't want to wreck his career, so she waited for the old prick to die, which took 100 years. Talk about waiting to exhale. And of course it was true. Nobody even contested it. She was the illegitimate half-black daughter of Strom Thurmond. He was her father. And get this, her mother was the black maid working in the Strom Thurmond household in 1925, Jim Crow, South Carolina. And the media refers to this as an affair. An affair, a delightful sort of upstairs, downstairs romp. With stolen glances across the dinner table and Tony Randall as the best friend. Rape would be the word I would use to describe a situation where one person cannot say no. That would be called rape. Thank you. Calling this an affair is like calling pedophilia a lifestyle choice. But you know, black folks did get a little payback recently. The FBI reported that there was a new class of prostitutes in America, and they are teenage suburban white girls. I love this. I do. Teenage suburban middle-class white girls are selling their asses at the mall to make money to buy things at the mall. It is adorable. Little Ashley is selling her coochie for Gucci. It is adorable. And I know people out there are saying, well, he's talking about somebody else. No, it's you. Your daughter's a whore. I just like saying that. But people want to know, how did this happen? Well, I'll tell you how. It was kind of a fitting joke on white people, because after World War II, there was something called white flight. White people got out of the inner city. They did not want to be around the black culture, because they thought if their kids grew up around black people, well, the boys would want to be pimps, and the girls would want to be whores, and now, through the miracle of MTV, that's exactly what happened. And, you know, when I was a kid, my father hated rock and roll, but if you printed out the lyrics to rock and roll songs, he could understand them. And they weren't very threatening. That's not true with rock, with hip-hop and rap music. I mean, first of all, it's written in a language your child understands, Ebonics, but you do not. Therefore, as a public service, I have translated into white a number of rap lyrics that I would like to read for you now, because I'm telling you, you don't understand what these words are, and I'm not going to read the rap lyrics themselves, because I'm telling you, you just wouldn't understand them, but I promise these are faithful renditions into white. A little something I like to call Master P's Theater. Our first selection is from the Notorious B.I.G. with lyrics by Mr. R. Kelly. The selection is entitled, I'm Fucking You Tonight. That is the actual title, I promise. And here is the translation. This evening we won't be dining, we'll just be having intercourse. You'll surely appreciate my stamina and the fact that I own a late model European sports sedan. If you shifted position, you would have a better view of our intercourse. I appreciate it when we have intercourse with increased vigor and velocity. This evening we won't be dining, we'll just be having intercourse. All right, that's Mr. Howell. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Theater is my first love, and the classics, they don't write them like that anymore, do they? All right, our next selection from Mr. Snoop Dogg, entitled Get Jiggy Wit My 9 Home Slice. I told you you couldn't understand it. I was talking to a sibling. This African American was telling me that a business transaction involving pharmaceuticals went awry. One of the participants apparently being underfinanced. Unable to raise the necessary capital, he decided to abscond with the products. Needless to say, the first party of siblings wants him to reconcile this debt, and I'm afraid to say that may include the use of firearms. Thank you. Oh, you're very kind. And finally, from the late great Mr. Eazy-E, Two Hard Mothers. Hello. Hello, everyone. Perhaps you're familiar with my work. I'm Eazy-E. I shoot people and then leave promptly so as to avoid incarceration. I see there are some women in the audience here tonight. You're probably thinking we'd enjoy having sex with Eazy-E. Yes, you would. You see, I'm the type of African American who was designed for durability. And if you disagree with me, I may lodge my foot in your rectum. All right, that was... Thank you. Are you horny now? I do that to get everybody very horny. I like the crowd to be horny. You know, my friend Ann Coulter tells me all the time. Oh, I know, but she's very different when she's coming. No, that's a joke. It's a joke, I'm kidding. No. Thank you, but she always says liberals have joyless sex, and it reminds me that in addition to a war on drugs that we never stopped after 9/11, we also still have a war on sex. Before he left office, Ashcroft passed down an indictment against the porn industry. He named 5 videos. I'm going to tell you one of the titles, not because I want a cheap laugh, but because I want you to understand where your tax dollar is going. One of the titles was 1,001 Ways to Eat My Jizz. Apparently Ashcroft was okay with the first 999, but the last 2 just set him off. That is no way to eat jizz. And, you know, believe it or not, here's something I have in common with John Ashcroft, which is that I don't really also have any desire to watch movies about people eating jizz. The difference is I don't ask that you legislate my taste. I don't ask that my opinion be made into the law.